Young Sheldon has wrongly ignored two major TBBT cameos for 6 years, but Season 7 can fix it. Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Up Season 7 can and ought to correct young Sheldon's continued disregard for its two most significant cameos on The Big Bang Theory. The most popular comedy on TV right now is a prequel to another classic sitcom. However, Sheldon Cooper is at the heart of young Sheldon's story, at least initially, as the series explores his fascinating Texas upbringing. The prequel, which is The Big Bang Theory's first and only spin-off, frequently attempts to include elements from its parent series. In the prequel, it occasionally even enlists certain Pasadena gang members to assist with adult Sheldon's narration. Young Sheldon has introduced Amy and Howard over the years. When Amy made her voiceover for the first time, it is disclosed that she and Sheldon would eventually have a son named Leonard. Among other topics that married people typically discuss, the couple discusses their financial management during her second guesting stint. Regarding Howard, CBS enlists the resident engineer of the Pasadena gang to assist Sheldon in remembering how difficult his undergraduate engineering course was. However, young Sheldon has yet to incorporate two of the most significant appearances from The Big Bang Theory into the series. Given that The Big Bang Theory is still popular years after it ended, many fans found it exciting that Amy and Howard will be returning for young Sheldon. Their voice appearances were woven into the plot of the spin-off in both cases, which makes them more entertaining even though they are just fleeting. Interestingly, though, Leonard and Penny, two of young Sheldon's most significant appearances on The Big Bang Theory, are not included in the CBS prequel. They are the most significant individuals in Parsons' life, possibly even more so than his own wife, but his voiceover hardly mentions them at all, which is strange. Just so you know, Kaylee Cuoco has previously appeared in the spin-off, but she didn't reprise her role as her favorite character from The Big Bang Theory. She voiced the pool water in Sheldon's Dream in Young Sheldon Season 3, although her casting wasn't verified until much later, despite fans' assumptions. Leonard hasn't really been mentioned in the interim. There was absolutely no mention of his roommate in Apartment 4A, even when Sheldon and Amy discussed naming their son Leonard Cooper in honor of his favorite Star Trek character and best friend. Name-dropping Hofstadter at that point would have been easy, but it didn't occur. Young Sheldon was originally intended to be Sheldon's Genesis story, but in its later years, it has become evident that its premise has already been outgrown. Since the project gives the other Coopers their own tales, Sheldon is no longer at the core of its narrative. The boy genius spends the majority of his days away from the family at East Texas Tech in Young Sheldon Season 6, which marks the conclusion of that transformation. CBS must make sure that it doesn't completely forget its title character, even though this is advantageous to guarantee that the show can have a future beyond Sheldon's story. In light of this, young Sheldon ought to include the Hofstadters before it concludes. As was already mentioned, two of the most significant figures in Sheldon's adult life are Leonard and Penny. Sheldon's roommate loved him and took care of him, albeit reluctantly, long before he met Amy on The Big Bang Theory. There are currently rumors that Young Sheldon Season 7 will be the show's final season. If this is true, the next year will be its last opportunity to do so. Even if it doesn't, young Sheldon won't have any hope of carrying them past his transfer because Sheldon is moving to Pasadena soon. Since The Big Bang Theory concluded in 2019, CBS has employed young Sheldon to provide fans with updates on the Pasadena gang's progress. The popularity of the nerd-centric sitcom made it clear that the broadcasting network wanted to keep it going past Season 12. However, after Parsons stated that he wanted to quit the show, the cast members themselves came up with the notion to wrap it up. According to young Sheldon, the socially awkward genius wears his Nobel Prize award every day, and Sheldon and Amy have more children than Leonard. However, Howard's appearance demonstrates that the Coopers and the Wolowitzes remain friends. Sadly, young Sheldon hasn't disclosed anything about Penny and Leonard's lives after The Big Bang Theory because there is hardly any mention of the Hofstadters. Given that adult Sheldon's narration in the prequel is purportedly his attempt to write his autobiography, The fact that he hasn't even brought them up is actually very alarming. It implies that there is a rift between Sheldon and the primary pair of The Big Bang Theory if young Sheldon concludes without an appearance. If not, one could the. Bringing Sheldon and Penny along has several significant benefits for The Big Bang Theory in addition to young Sheldon. The Hofstadter's pregnancy was one of its most contentious plotline, even though it had a nice ending. After sidelining the duo for years, CBS attempted to make up for their mistake by establishing a plot involving the couple regarding their contrasting position on having kids. Penny didn't want them, but Leonard did. Even though she objected, she was still pregnant at the end of The Big Bang Theory. Even though the sitcom didn't demonstrate that Penny was even considering the notion, she suddenly became enthusiastic about it, which made things narrative has been a blot on the show's conclusion since The Big Bang Theory was too busy concentrating on Sheldon and Amy's Nobel Prize pursuit to devote enough time to the plotline. But by providing an update on their well-being years after their unexpected pregnancy, CBS can defend it. It would be simpler for fans to embrace their hurried plot in Season 12 of The Big Bang Theory if they are content and believe that having a child was a wise decision for them. This can be revealed by the adult narrative of young Sheldon or, if they show up at all, by the pair themselves. Given the outcome of their divorce, which is previously established in The Big Bang Theory, young Sheldon's engagement and wedding plot with Mandy and Georgie might not be engaged. The program may go into unexplored plotlines for other characters, including as Missy, since Mandy and Georgie's relationship has already been demonstrated to be troublesome. There isn't any unsolved mystery around their breakup. By utilizing The Big Bang Theory's canon to their advantage, young Sheldon Season 7 offers Georgie and Mandy the chance to mature as characters by helping them realize they are not meant to be together. The Big Bang Theory spin-off will find it difficult to keep viewers interested because of its unavoidable conclusion, even if Mandy and Georgie's engagement and wedding will probably be a big plot point throughout young Sheldon Season 7. A television program's storytelling may occasionally be naturally constrained by its canon. For instance, fans were already aware that Jimmy McGill would eventually work with Walter and Jesse, the meth-making antiheroes on Breaking Bad, regardless of what transpired in the first few seasons of Better Call Saul. Similarly, young Sheldon's characters' destinies were predetermined by The Big Bang Theory's canon before the prequel series started, which would present issues for the program as it developed. This was a significant problem in certain instances. Viewers found George Sr.'s young Sheldon conflict with Pastor Rob much more heartbreaking because they knew that the character would pass away unexpectedly within a year of wondering about his wife's possible adultery. Young Sheldon's relationship to the existing canon of The Big Bang Theory, however, is a more subtle and pernicious problem in other subplots. For instance, viewers had no idea how long Georgie's relationship with the aspirational Mandy would endure. However, it became clear that this was his notoriously unsuccessful marriage from the previous evening when Mandy proposed to Georgie, and he accepted after his own failed proposal. Because Georgie mentions his ex-wife during his appearance on the comedy, viewers who are familiar with the older version of Georgie on The Big Bang Theory are aware that he was divorced at some point. Given that the audience now knows that Mandy and Georgie will eventually divorce, the plot of Season 7 could quickly grow boring. Given that George's divorce from The Big Bang Theory indicates that their marriage is short-lived, Georgie and Mandy's engagement, wedding plan, and ceremony could all feel a bit dated. The show can only make Georgie and Mandy's fate more depressing because their issues are already obvious, even though young Sheldon could explain Missy's future in Season 7. These plots have unrealized potential because young Sheldon hasn't yet revealed why Mary returned to the church after being publicly humiliated by the congregation, or how Missy ended up remaining in Texas. There isn't any unanswered mystery, though, as young Sheldon Seasons 5 and 6 gave Mandy and Georgie plenty of reasons to split up. Mandy's discomfort with the age difference between her and Georgie, their divergent life goals, and their many arguments have already been made evident in the spin-off of The Big Bang Theory. Their divorce is not surprising given their numerous issues. Their ultimate separation isn't shocking because Mandy and Georgie, played by young Sheldon, already had a turbulent, emotional relationship. It seems unlikely that young Sheldon Season 7 would reveal anything new about the couple, who have been stuck in an on-again, off-again cycle for the past season and a half. The show alters viewers' perceptions of Mary from The Big Bang Theory, but it is unable to do the same for Mandy and Georgie because they were not prominent characters on the show. While his ex-wife was given only a passing reference in one line of speech, Georgie made a few small appearances throughout the series. Georgie and Mandy's connection was not revealed to viewers on The Big Bang Theory, but this does not preclude young Sheldon Season 7 from elaborating on their tale. Even if the pair struggles throughout the season after getting married, they may still come to the realization that they are not meant to be together, and by the end, they may both have matured as people. The spin-off can capitalize on the fact that Mandy and Georgie's divorce is already inevitable by exploring how they came to realize they weren't compatible. Their subplot might center on the lessons they took away from the experience. Howard was a slime with no depth when he was originally introduced on The Big Bang Theory. But having Bernadette on the cast of the program helped him grow into a more likable, well-rounded character. In a similar vein, both the audience and anyone in their immediate vicinity may currently see Georgie and Mandy's dysfunction. But since their final divorce is already known, young Sheldon can allow their characters to develop by having the couple come to terms with this together. The spin-off could benefit from The Big Bang Theory's canon if Georgie and Mandy decide to end their relationship in young Sheldon Season 7. Thanks for watching.